All right. Art and science have grown in business. I want to talk about both of them, both the art and the science. We spend a lot of time in the science of a business because we understand financials. We can see numbers. It's pretty easy. The art's a little bit more difficult, which we're going to talk about as well. You know, when Apple was saved, Apple was days away from bankruptcy. Interestingly enough, do you know who bailed out Apple? One of the biggest investors that bailed out Apple? That's your business trivia for the day. Bill Gates. So, yeah, he went across the aisle and said, I need some help. Yeah, Bill Gates actually helped him out. So, but one of the things Steve Jobs did was Steve Jobs had a creative idea and a way to horizontally differentiate Apple from the marketplace. So he said, I'm going to save Apple. And the only way we can save Apple is to horizontally differentiate. This is your pop quiz already. So he decided to horizontally differentiate the company, and it ultimately saved the company. He made one decision. Do, 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 do. What did he do? Any guesses? He added one thing. Wasn't a product. Wasn't a product. He added it to an existing product. Color. 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 He was the first one to add color to a computer. Remember before that, you couldn't get colors. Everything was just that weird yellow, white kind of color. And then they came out with the iMac, and the iMac came in colors. It had a green one, it had a yellow one, and it had a red one. That's how they saved the company. Do you remember them? They were like this big. They still had the big back on them.
What year was that?
Like 98? Yeah. And they had the big back on them, and that's ultimately what saved the company. That's horizontal differentiation, by the way. That's a good example of horizontal differentiation. He didn't create a superior product in a lot of people's minds, but he horizontally differentiated, and everybody wanted color. Are they still using that strategy? Yes, Apple still uses that strategy today because they ultimately want people to buy because of color. Do people still buy things because of color? Yes, I was buying an Apple product recently, and they were like, we have a pink one and a gold one. I was like, did you have black? And so they are still using that strategy today, but that's what Steve Jobs utilized. So that's the art of a business. He used the science of a business because he went and got capital, and he got capital from Bill Gates. There's your by the way, he made a concession to get the capital from Bill Gates. Does anyone know what the concession was? It's like another little popcorn. You can use this at parties with all your friends. I'm sure that's what you guys talk about. So he made a concession to Bill Gates to get him to get the money. What concession did he give up? He allowed Microsoft products to be used on Apple. Before that, there was no Office for Mac. And so he allowed Office to be put on Macs. And before that, he would not allow Office to be on Macs. So Bill Gates said, if you allow Office to be on Macs, I will give you money. That's what they did. So anyhow, there's your little test for the day. All right, you guys can use that later.